Hello and welcome to yet another Oscar prediction video. We're really in the end game now, just a week left before the show. And then the category we're going to be looking at today is Best Achievement in Makeup and Hairstyling. So we're starting to get to the categories where there's legitimately a race. And in these last couple of categories, I'm going to be predicting a couple of upsets. You can't predict them to go exactly the way things are expected to go on Gold Derby because there's always a surprise, at least one big surprise every year. So keep that in mind as we go over this next category. Let's begin. Fifth most likely to win is Hillbilly Elegy. So this is one of two nominations for the film. The film is not well liked, not well received at all, and we kind of knew that this was its main. I was honestly predicting it to be shut out in both supporting actress and makeup, but it got on for both. And in both cases, it's the same character. It's the work done on Glenn Close as Mama is genuinely effective, genuinely transformative, as well as some nice aging work done on Amy Adams. And I don't know what was done to the two actors to play JD, if there was any subtle makeup shift with them, but I swear to God, they are so convincing as the same person. That may just be a casting thing. But anyway, the makeup in the film is definitely well done, and to the point where if you if you didn't know who Amy Adams and Glenn Close was, if you didn't know these were big celebrities, you would probably not question the makeup. It looks very convincing. Uh, I it's one of the better aspects of the film. The film is not well received, and it makes sense why it got this nomination. I don't see it winning, uh, for the simple reason that it is such a poorly received film, and I mean, not that it hasn't gone to poorly received films in the past. Just look at Suicide Squad. But at least that film had more creative special effects makeup. And in this film, it's more subtle. It's really just on Glenn Close. And I maybe I'm wrong, but I really doubt that they're gonna give it to the film considering how poorly received the film is. I just feel like it it's not a good movie. It's not going to win for Glenn Close. I'm fairly confident in that. People are not going to want to give this film an Oscar anyway. Uh, and given the competition that there is much better received films and more showy makeup than just what's done on Glenn Close, I can see some people voting for it, but I just don't see it winning. I I'm I think it was lucky to get the nomination. I get why I got it, but it's just the film's nominated for 3 Razzie Awards. I think the Academy is going to be reluctant to give it a win anywhere, although I guess it is possible. Fourth most likely to win is Emma. So this is tricky because the category is called Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and this is definitely the hairstyling nominee. Ever since they changed the name to that, you usually see one film in this lineup that is primarily all about the hairstyling. And it's very effective and it's very period accurate. I've been told that it's one of the most period accurate period films that you see. A lot of period films just try and go for a more contemporary look that looks like it could vaguely be historically accurate, but this is actually historically accurate in the way that the hair and makeup is presented. So I think some people in the hair and makeup branch in particular will vote for it, but it's not the most showy thing. I think when people think of this category, best makeup and hairstyling, they're going to think of the makeup first and foremost. And while the makeup and hairstyling are both well done, it is more subtle work. I think that it it's impressive work, but the fact that this got on over like some of the more showy makeup, like Birds of Prey or even Borat, which failed to make the shortlist, there it, it's good work, but I think it's too subtle to pull off a win here. Understand why I got the nomination, but I do not believe it's winning. Third most likely to win is Mank. So this feels like a coattail nomination to me. The makeup in this film is well done, but it's also one of the more subtle things, much like Emma. Now, with Emma, there were a lot of characters to do hairstyling on, and in Mank, when you think of the makeup in this film, it's really just Amanda Seyfried's transformation into Marion Davies, which is genuinely impressive. But outside of that, there's not really the makeup in the rest of the film is very subtle and doesn't call a lot of attention to itself. And so I cannot imagine it being used. I mean, technically, they did have to test the makeup to see what would look good in black and white. But I there's even some debate about how well that was pulled off. So, what while I understand the nomination, it does largely feel like a coattail nomination because people liked the movie well enough to nominate it. But I don't think they're going to like it enough to give it a bunch of wins. I just have it winning one award for Best Production Design. So, like, spoiler for future videos, I guess. So, while the makeup work in the film is good and respectable, like Emma, it seems too subtle. I don't think it has enough momentum going for it to pull off a win. Second most likely to win is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Okay, so this is where I start to hedge my bets a little bit. Or that's not the right term. This is where I start to go a little bit out there in my predictions. Because Ma Rainey, this is the film that won a Critics' Choice Award and won BAFTA, which would put it in the frontrunner position. The reason why I don't have it number one is because a lot of the makeup in the film is really just on the one character. It's really just Viola Davis's transformation into Ma Rainey, which is definitely very well done. But in terms of, usually they don't give it to makeup that just showcases one character. Usually they give it to the whole cast. And the makeup on the rest of the cast, there's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't stand out like with Viola's transformation into Ma Rainey. And so I think again, it's totally respectable work, and I do understand why it won BAFTA and Critics' Choice, because it is a more widely seen film, and it going into nominations, we thought it would be a Best Picture nominee, but it's not a Best Picture nominee, and there is a question of how many Oscars can it realistically win if it's just nominated. It's not a Best Picture nominee, so how many below the line awards? It's in contention to win at least 4, but I don't think it's going to win 4. And I don't think it's going to win this, even though it won Critics' Choice and BAFTA. I think it's definitely in the top 2, but I don't believe it's winning. My prediction, number 1 most likely to win, is Pinocchio! So this film, I have not seen this film. I think some people have seen it, some people haven't. People are split on the overall quality of the film, I've learned, but the film did get a surprise nomination for Best Costume Design, which came out of nowhere, and that to me proves that people are seeing this film and are liking it enough, at least in the technical categories. And to be perfectly honest, this is one of those movies where you don't need to see the movie. You just need to see the pictures. You just need to see the pictures and the trailer and what they're doing with the makeup. As soon as you see just the one image of the actor playing Pinocchio and see that that is all makeup, that is not CG, it's impressive. And then you look at some of the other characters in the film, some pretty wild human-animal hybrid transformations that look really impressive. I mean, it's a fantasy film, and I miss the days when the Academy would give this award to fantasy film where everyone is in makeup. Stuff like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Series of Unfortunate Events. Those are movies that weren't coming anywhere near Best Picture, but won Best Makeup, deservedly so, because they had the most makeup, but also it was really well done. I love movies that can have this practical makeup effect that don't feel the need to resort to CGI, because I feel like so many movies like this would be like, oh, we're doing all of that in CGI. And CGI is good and it has its place, but I want to see more of these fantasy stories commit to makeup because makeup is really, really cool and ultimately will look better. 10 years from now, this movie will look better than a version of the film that was all CGI. And I think the Academy recognizes that. And it did win an award for special effects makeup at the Makeup Guild. And even though it lost at Critics' Choice and BAFTA, the fact that it has the extra costume design nomination at Oscar gives me the courage I need to predict it. This is an upset prediction, but I believe it's happening. I believe that the film has the support it needs, and even if people haven't seen it, they've seen the photos, and some people will vote for it just based on the photos alone. So plus Ma Rainey, as well liked as it is, I can't imagine it winning too many Oscars given the fact that it's not nominated for Best Picture. So I don't have Ma Rainey winning makeup. I have Pinocchio winning makeup. That is my official prediction. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and tune in next time where I will be taking a look at the category of Best Original Song. See you then.